Hello, it's Happy Friday out here in Hawaii. It's Aloha Friday. And this is Jimmy with the video blog of my trading activity and what we think is happening in the markets. Primarily silver, GDX, GDXJ, and the leveraged ETFs of those three products. Today was a pretty wild day on the market. I was watching early in the wee hours and everything was going up and down and up and down. A lot of volatility. The astrologers were saying things are going to be volatile. So for today, Bitcoin was the big gainer to, let's say, almost 3%. Silver was up, gold was up here 0.5%, and then the currencies pretty much flat. And then down on the sell-off, orange, cotton, cocoa, wheat, and the VIX. At the opening, the VIX was very strong. It was looking like it was going to be a real negative day, but they saved the day. I'll show you a few things on the FinViz chart. The website is finviz.com. And I've been using this site for almost probably 20 years or more. And it's quite handy. Just a quick note on the futures tab here, you can also break that down into just the indices, the grains, meats, metals. So for the metals, we just get a look at gold and silver, platinum, copper, and palladium. In energy, we get crude oil, which is weak, gasoline, heating oil, ethanol, natural gas. I don't do a lot in oils. I just tried to mess with it quite a while back, but never really found anything that stuck. We'll take a look at the bonds. Today, the bonds were basically flat. When these prices go up, that means the yield is going down. So yields are going up here in this particular channel. We can take a look at the weekly on the bonds, and we are trending upwards with what would be lower interest rates. And then on the monthly chart, you can see how the bonds have really sold off. Interest rates have come up. Interest rates are inverse to price. And so this is reflecting, well, let's see, COVID, Biden, and so forth. So we'll see what happens there. The metals, again, we can look at those on a monthly, and this goes back to 2021. This is kind of what scares me and others on the monthly charts. We are looking still very overbought, everything bubble. Over at House Street, the VR trader guy, he has gone completely cash. He has no investments in gold, Bitcoin, any of them, all 100% cash. And it makes sense. So on the weekly, we see a real modest correction in gold, silver, and the rest. Can we go up? Well, let's take a look at the my super duper charts over here on Thinkorswim. And what we'll start with is silver. And what I have here on silver is the wrong chart, but we can look at this. This is a daily chart. Silver's consolidating here in this zone here above, well, let's see, support in the 45, 46 area. That's where all my alerts are. I did manage to buy in around this low, and I'm hanging on for dear life. So on this particular chart, this goes back April and on to fall of last year. Here's the first of the year right here. So in this regard, had this explosion not happened and everybody got all exuberant, and noticing here we went right up almost to the penny to an existing target I had using the Fibonacci extensions. We'll look at that further. And if we go to the 4 hour, say 180 days, we can see more clearly this visible sideways correction pattern. Some people would call this a head and shoulders bottom. You kind of see it right here, a shoulder, a head, and then another shoulder developing. All right, I'm going to change charts here because in silver I want to show you what the TSI is doing. That's the True Strength Index. And I have it, let's see, I have it right here on this chart. So let me make it big. And when I go to the 4 hour TSI, and I'll show you basically a whole year, this was a buy signal. When you see these types of actions in this indicator, which I developed it and modified this so that the indicator exaggerated price, whereas when you put the indicators below the price section, you can find and see that we tagged a pretty nice low on the RSI here, and the TSI has made a cross, gone up, pulled back, and my bet is this is going to head up either slow or fast. So you can see how fast the TSI teardrops when things really change and shift. This is again a 4 hour for each unit, and we went into a real nice low, then a diverging low. Let me zoom in here. So we went into this low. Well, I guess I thought it was here, but it's here. And then TSI cooled off, it's crossed, done a little cross down, and moving up. And that is really, really, really good for me because I like this indicator. It's very visual. It's accurate when you get those extremes. When you're in this extreme mode where the indicator is very, very low and you get a pretty good hit on the RSI right in there. Again, I was a buyer. Luckily, I didn't quite catch the bottom, but I caught some lows. So I'm very profitable in my leveraged AGQ position, and I'm going to just watch it closely. If it slips, I can just get out with a few clicks. Now, what I like a lot is GDXJ, and I took all the drawings off of it, I think. Let's see. GDXJ represents an ETF of the VanEck Junior Gold Miners ETF. And so there we have a nice clean chart. These are moving averages. You can kind of disregard them. What I'll do is take a look at a close-up here and just zoom in a bit. And we can see, like gold, like silver, with the close of today's strong day in the gold stocks, this is a really nice diverging low. And hopefully what I want to see is the reverse of this. I want to see this thing just explode and begin to pull more people in. I think there's a lot of people doubtful about the gold thing. Let's see, it was Andy Schectman was talking to coin dealers, and he says the coin dealer stores are empty. The public is actually selling their silver and gold, going into the coin shops. There aren't many buyers, so that's a contrarian indicator of that. Let me find a different chart without all those moving averages. Let's see, here's a clean one. All right, let's go with GDXJ. And, we'll see what I can do here. That's the daily. Go back to the 180. And so this was really interesting thing. I've showed it in some previous videos how, price did a nice consistent zigzag on my TSI, pointing out various lows pretty accurately. And then when we got to this rally, and really I'm not sure why, but the TSI kind of started to fail and fade lower. This was really, I got to do some more study on this, but this was a bad scene when you had this stock go up from 82 to 109, and this is happening inside of it, inside of this true strength index. So we've got a low in the works here. The secondary low was here, and then based on today's action, I haven't been posting for a couple days. We did get a nice move the last half of the market. It was extremely choppy. If we look at even just a 5-minute chart, this was Thursday, this was Friday. We were just, up and down, and look at all this volatility here with these candles. They call these wicks. And then we attempted a big rally about 11 o'clock. We shot up, and then boom, they took it all apart, and then things consistently rose. So here, what's happening short term, the 15-minute has probably gotten overbought. Well, not quite. It's getting overbought, like it did here, and then came back down during this correction. So again, I'm not too concerned because I'm in pretty low, and I want to hold this thing for as long as I can. Like the last up leg, I was trading and selling these things, and I was leaving so much on the table by just not sticking with it. Okay, so let's see what GDX looks like. This is the bigger cap mining companies. Same thing. This is the 1 hour. Looks really good. The 1 hour helps me find these bottoms and these crosses along with the 4 hour. We can see the 2 hour. It lags a little bit from the 1 hour. The real interesting one was the 15-minute. I had it in a small chart, kind of scrunched together, longer time frame. Let me show you. Settings. So you go to time access. We got a 15-minute chart, and I'm going to put in like 90 days or 180 days, 15-minute. And let's see. Doesn't really tell me much at this point. I think in my other videos I was pointing out this really aggressive zigzag here, but in any event, go back to the 4 hour, 30-day. We need to get through this area right up here at the 73 level, and I've got a 75 target on it based on this A, this B, and this C here. And then I can show you more about how these targets work. If you don't know what these are, I'm happy to share and teach it. But basically, the market follows I guess you could say the market breathes. And we learned this a long time ago from Rick Ackerman, that these ABCs, so the A, the B, and the C leg, give you these kinds of targets. And right now, we're literally stuck at that low target, which is holding. So one sec. If I draw this across, this price level is 71.63. So we need to get up into here. 75s, you know, this can go up pretty nicely if we start to get some action. So JNUG is the leveraged ETF, and let's just do some more time so it kind of shrinks the chart up a little bit. Here again, JNUG was exhibiting this nice low with a higher low, diverging energy. I guess you could call it this is just energy. And we're starting to get some acceleration. This is the 2x leveraged ETF. And compared to the GDX and GDXJ, the TSI, you know, it didn't behave so badly during this uptrend, except once this crossed down, you know, you could kind of tell this was the first troubling spot. I ended up selling in here some stuff, and then I got out, I think the day after this drop here, and got out of stuff. Could have waited a day and done better, and yeah, it was in here. So what can we conclude here? We'll go into a shorter time frame and look at, let's see, let's just look at the 15-minute. So what we do when we're doing these ABCs, we can take a low like here. Rick says use a one-off low. I don't think it matters a lot. But when we ABC this, we got 146. So there's $10, $10 move in the JNUG, which is the 2x leveraged gold ETF. And it can do that in a day. This thing will move $10 in a day pretty easily. So that's exciting. I have a little bit of Nugget, NUGT is what we call it. Gold miner 2x. Here again, if we can draw the ABCs, you know, it could be this ABC, the kind of the one-off low, but you look to the left and look for some kind of a low area, and then you mark it A. Let's see. Let's put an A there, a B here, right at that top, and then we can call this area the C right in here. So Nugget has $143 price target, and that is you know, $10 away from here. And these two stocks, JNUG and Nugget, have been known to move up to $10 at a time. Excuse me, $10 in a day. So this looks pretty promising. So I'm going to be happy with that. As to the other markets that we look at, I'm going to try to keep this short. I'll show you some of my other screens that I use. Here's the Nugget chart. But we'll go across and share some things. So this is the internals, the intraday internals of the market. So these are based on the ES, which is the S&P 500 futures. See, there's that low early on, and usually right about 11 o'clock, looks like 11:30, noon was where the bottom hit, and then we raced back up all the way up. If we look at the NASDAQ and Q, maybe that's the wrong symbol. Let's just put the QQQ in there. Well, I guess this one isn't working. But in any event, so this is the tick. This is a short-term indicator that shows a lot of buying at the highs when we're over 1,000, and then these are areas of strong selling. This is the trend, and I think a high trend is bearish. That's on the NASDAQ. This is the trend on the S&P. So as you see, it was very bearish early on in the day, and this dropped all the way down as the market rallied and closed very low. This is the advanced decliners of the NASDAQ. So in other words, it's the number of stocks advancing versus the number of stocks declining. So you can measure that let's just call it 2,900 advancers and 1,500 losers on the day. Here's the 3,200 losers and 800 advancers. This gives you an idea of intraday trend. Same thing here. This is the advance decline of, well, it might be the whole market. And so it's something to watch. Here's the S&P advanced decliners. We were very negative in the early morning, and then everything reversed. We crossed up, and away we go. And this is up volume, down volume. So pretty good day for the market. Once that selling was done, volume really did improve, which is generally a good sign. Okay, next screen has basically 1 hour, 30 minute, and 15 minute for the GDX, gold, silver, and so forth. So this is the 4 hour on gold. I thought that was different. So right now, 1 hour, we're bullish. We're a little overbought. Not a big deal. These are a couple little guys that I follow and I own. All right. This is GDX, silver, gold. This is all I look at. It's just really interesting to do this. Here's Bitcoin. They're talking about Bitcoin back to 70,000 as liquidity decreases. This is the S&P 4 hours, so that each 2 bars is 1 day there. And then this is GLD, which is the gold ETF. And then we'll just move along to a couple of the gold stocks. These are IAG, had a good day, up 5%. WPM, 3% almost. Our Gold, I had bought a couple days ago. Franco-Nevada, I don't have any positions there. So here's a nice little move in this Goro, one that I like and own. And then JNUG here on a very short-term chart is closed right at the high. Ethereum, and this is a little biotech stock that I'm in. It's really interesting. They have a potential cure for diabetes, but it's just really taken quite a beating here today, or excuse me, these last few days. So just holding on that one as well. And the last chart I want to show on Thinkorswim are the AI stocks, or no, this is quantum computing. And there's QUBT, Qubit, Rigetti, QPUX, QBTS, which is, I think, D-Wave. And then AMD, my nemesis. I was in this stock before it went from 165 to 235 or whatever. Very disappointing to miss that by just not holding on long enough. And here's good old JNUG looking like it wants to make a move. And then I'm just going to switch back to FinViz and take a look at the screener. And I'm going to take a look at my beloved goldies, gold stocks. And then I start here with what's the change? What was moving and what wasn't moving? These are the losers. Galiano, which is one that I have. For some reason, some bad news. I think I bought a little more. It was down 8%. But I don't have a whole lot of money in these things. This is Tower Hill Mine, a mining company in Alaska. Good prospects. NFGC, which is Newfound Gold. That's been around for a long time, and supposedly they have a really big deposit somewhere in Canada. I think it's near Ontario. So these were the weakest ones in the bunch, but with only 3 losers, that's pretty good. And 2 of them are garbage, the NAM and that other BLG one, blue something or other. So on the gaining side, we have, that BGL, stay away from it. IDR, I liked it. I bought it around 30. Goro had a good day. What do you got? 7%, 6% on Citgo. Well, Contago. IAUX, a little one. If you want a little penny stock to play, 94 cents. Could be a big move. This is one that I actually have one of the higher profits for the year on. I was just analyzing my account. Okay, so that's how we're looking at the gainers. Last thing I want to look at is I want to go to, I think it's under technical, and I want to look at the RSI. And so the RSIs are climbing. All of these were 50 or below, which now is coming up. These are relative strength is what this is for those that don't know. And now you can look at the weakest stocks and by RSI, and you can then say, well, where is everybody selling? We're 34% off the 52-week high. So if you think we're going to go to new highs in all these stocks, then that's a 34% gain that you can recover. Oh, excuse me. You see why I want you to stay away from this BGL? It shot up when it opened. It's 95% off its high, and it was a pump and dump. So based on the RSI, we are going to go from increasing to decreasing. And RSIs can get up into the 70s and the 80s, and they were there for some of these gold stocks. So we're going to look at the charts, just look at them, and we can see as we go through the list, the highest relative strength stocks obviously have already moved up from being in this low zone. And I'm running on time. I don't want to go more than a half hour or so, but I thought I'd just take some time to scan through these. I mean, all of these stocks are good buys, especially the most profitable ones. And let's see what that looks like. So let me go back to the table, and we'll do financial, and we'll see which ones are have the highest profit margin, along with the highest operating margin. And these are the gross margins. You can notice there's no debt involved in these guys. And these are mostly royalty companies. So OR Royalty, Franco-Nevada, Argold, I added to that. WPM, I added to that. Newmont, I don't have any. AGI, I don't have any. AEM, I do have, I think I bought some of this. Yeah, IDR. So I'm trying to stay in these profitable ones because they're going to be less likely to fall. And that is the call for today, 29 minutes. And wish you well. Have a good weekend, and thanks for watching. Oh, remember to like and share. See you guys.